So another thing to know is that another hoop we're gonna have to jump through is that we basically got like penalized by Gusto because they try to. We used to have like next day payroll, right? So if we have the money on Thursday, we run payroll on Thursday. Everyone gets paid by direct deposit on Friday. Um, because it like bounced at some point, then you get penalized like a 2 day payroll. So now we have to, because they want to make sure the money's there, they'll draft it twice, and then it comes on Wednesday, and then um, you can draft on Wednesday and get the paid on Friday, and that's like the standard speed. But now Arish got some message that we have to run payroll 4 days ahead of time, which really screws things up because we charge credit cards on
Tuesdays.
Mondays, we have the cash on Tuesdays, and typically we run payroll on Wednesdays, the cash is there. But they
I
just
thought
screwed
we were
everything up.
I thought we ran credit cards on Tuesdays.
Yeah, no, you're right. We run credit cards on Tuesdays, we get the money on Wednesdays, but then Wednesdays is when we run payroll. And so it's all like I planned it all out that way, like the cash flow. So
Right.
the money comes in, then payroll comes out. But now
Mm-hmm.
they're pushing us back 2 days earlier, which means we have to have the money 2 days earlier. Or the alternative is pay people by check, which we don't want to do because then we can just run a check day of on Friday, but we don't want to do that. And then the other alternative is sending, which we're probably end up doing, is wiring the money each week, which is $30 a week, which is just obnoxious. Because then we can wire it as late as Thursday, and then they have the money and they can run the payroll on Friday. So that's probably going to be what we're going to end up doing. Because we can't charge, Arish, I talked to Arish about it before this call, and we can't charge cards. Even if we charge them, we'd have to charge them on Friday to have the money on Monday. And we can't really do that because you guys don't even talk until Monday to review the previous week's work. So how can we charge cards on Friday,
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we'll just suck up that $30 fee for the next year, $30 a week. I mean, it's not a crazy amount of money, but that costed us, 120 a month times
340, 360 a
times
year.
12. Yeah, like $1,500 of wire fees. But on the first of the month, we do get, the first of the month payments in. So like this first week, we didn't have to wire it because we had the first of the month payments in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, or we just don't run things so fucking tight and we have a buffer in the account and then it's not a problem either, but that doesn't seem to be the case usually. So,
Right. That's a great idea, but can we do that?
yeah, so we'll do with it what we can, but I don't think it's worth rewriting our entire policy and how we charge cards and, when we charge them. And, I don't think it's worth messing that around, you know?
Okay. Yeah.
So here we are, big picture. It's easy to look at the graph, I feel like. So, we're consistently going down, and then first month we get a little bump up, but then our bills hit and we go down. First month comes up, then we get hit with the bills to go down. Um, and then like 7-2, we got first month payments, and then it kept going up. We're getting a lot of unexpected bills, plus we're a little short in the margins. Then August 1st came around, and we got first month payments. Great. Our first month we didn't have the money in the bank. That's when we charged the cards, right? So we actually received the payments on the 8th, and also a lot of the payments probably came out because a lot of them come out on the 5th.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, a lot of these are in the second, which is coming after the payments post from the first of the month. But in this
Mm-hmm.
instance, it went up because we didn't get the first month payments yet. So they probably reflected here, which also included the bills because the bills come out on the 5th on this week. So we lost a little bit. So we made a big chunk down last week. This week we went up a tiny bit. We went up, about $3,000. So let's dig into the weekly audit. We have to do the monthly as well. I read out the dates. The diversified still isn't billing us weekly, so this bill they sent was actually from July 14th. That they just
Right.
sent the bill. So it's still, July 14th, 31st, last 2 weeks of July, and this is for 8/3. So it's like it's really the previous week expense. But I guess we're getting closer, right? But that's in there.
Mm-hmm.
Total revenue is a little shy. Hours are definitely shy. Margin short by 2. But we're making a lot of profit on our work. 69% margin versus a goal of 61, $88 an hour charge rate. So again, it's been following this trend for a while now that we're killing it on the charge rate. We just don't have enough work, is what the trend has been lately. Looking here, we have Um, so we were 8%. We were trimming down the margin. We've been hovering around like 8% deficit because the weeks keep going forward, right? 31 out of 52. The year keeps going forward, and we keep also trimming down on the debt. So it seems to be like we're always a little behind.
Right.
And at this point, we're in August. We can disclude like January, February and do any work. So we're, well, here's the week number 31. So it's 31 out of 52, right? But really, production weeks start like 3 months in. Anyway, we'd probably be about caught up on the margin, right? Because we're probably about halfway through our working weeks.
Yeah, at least.
Right, because we have, well, how many weeks do you have left? I know the working season is about 40 weeks, right? And we're August 14th. So this is through the beginning, the second week in August, say. So we have 2 weeks in August, 4 weeks in September, 4 weeks in October, right? So it's 10 weeks. 4 weeks in November, it's 14 weeks. And then like 3 weeks in December, so 17 weeks. Yeah, so there's 17 weeks remaining. We start with like 40. So we're a little more than halfway through the season. So we should be caught up. There's no justification here for being behind on the margin now. You know what I'm saying? Like in the beginning, it's like, all right, we're going to be behind because we're not producing in January and February. But at this point, we should be caught up on the margin, because we're more than halfway through the season. Same token, we do have some juicy months coming up. So, are we starting seeding it, or that's a little later?
Nope, that's going to be first week of September.
Gotcha. Also, I threw it in ChatGPT again. So this trajectory here, I think it was initially like August 5th or something, but then July fucking killed us, right? So we have, so we had a great trajectory here. I think it was like beginning of September, I think was the break even. So this best fit line is now falling like October, so about end of November, end of September. So maybe it pushed it out about a month, which makes sense. We're climbing up a month. I also threw in ChatGPT just for another opinion. When I threw it in on July 11th, it said we'd hit break even at August 18th, and when I threw it in on August 14th today, it said we'd break even December 2nd. So end of October. But I don't think this latest data is going to be the norm. It can't be. So we need to get back on this track, right, before July.
Totally.
Too bad we don't have anything compared to last year, because if we run through this year, right, we're actually tracking this, and then next year it'll be like, oh, this is what happened last year. This is what we can expect. This is the pattern, but we don't have that to reference back on, unfortunately, because we weren't doing that before. So, yeah, overall, we got a little bit more behind from last week. So 50%. So we're at 8%, and now we're at 9.57, right?
Yeah.
So it's rounding to 10. It's actually 9.57. This is a really high booking rate here. What happened last week with estimates?
I think a lot of like nutsedge and weed treatments.
Oh, okay, there's like add-ons. Got it, like small bugs.
Affordable stuff, yeah.
So yeah, charge rates the guys are producing, right? We got so this is the Hispanic crew, right? Charge rate 82. So the variance here between the hours and the budget, so they're 8 hours, crushed at 82 an hour. These guys have, both of the local crews have less of a variance here. Oh, and is this Randy working by himself?
It is Randy, yep.
Working by himself, and he hit the same, huh? Interesting.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
He worked
I was
with
thinking
Jack.
about this too. What's that?
He worked with Jack one day last week, Thursday.
One day. Yeah, that's one day though. Well, then is this right then? Because this is 44 hours. Is that just Randy? Let's see. Randy, 35. Yeah, it must include. Yeah, because this is 35 hours he works. So that must include his hours with Jack. But Jack isn't on here. Jack is the mechanic, right?
He's the fur guy.
Am I wrong? Oh, yeah, fur guy. Okay, right. Okay, yes, his hours would be on here. Part of me thinks, like, I wonder if they look at they get to a job, right? And then because the budget hours are inflated, there's probably not a whole lot of urgency there, because they're like, oh, we're beating budget, I I was thinking that just this morning. It's probably a psychological thing, right? When you get to a job and it's like, oh, you have an hour, and you look at your timer halfway through, you still have 45 minutes. You're probably not rushing to get it done because you know you're going to beat it anyway, right? Because it's inflated.
That seems to make sense.
Right, I think that definitely makes sense. Just looking at because I think they should be like nothing's freaking growing. I mean, I'm sure we have some lawns that are irrigated that are growing, but most of them probably aren't. I know, you know, I was at my mom's house this past weekend. Hers is like, you know, dormant and dead. Not dead, but dormant, not growing at all. And mine's like that. I haven't, like I said, I told you I hadn't cut it in 3 weeks last week. I haven't cut it. I still haven't cut it. It's a week later. So these guys should be flying through these. Anyway, I mean, they're doing good, but I think they could probably do better. I just think there's probably not a lot of urgency because they're going to effortlessly beat the budget because they're inflated with the spring hours. But they did beat the budget. I just feel like it should be more than 3 hours, but you know, I think it should be more like this. But these, you know, these guys are. This is probably a good benchmark of what it could be, right? Because these guys, you know, are probably hustling, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, they're probably doing a better job too. All right. Orange Crew got like the highest rate I've seen. Granted, there's no job supplies in there, but they got like the highest charge rate I've seen was Orange right here. Yeah, it's the highest they've gotten all year.
Great.
So that's good, obviously. And I don't think we trimmed off those bad lawns yet. Not that they make that much difference, but then we could trim off the bad lawns.
Right.
Where were we? Orange, okay, 217. Then we have Red Crew, 82. They beat their budget hours though. These jobs must be a little tighter, I'm guessing, because they beat the budget hours. They still only hit 82. They did get slammed with these job supplies that actually didn't even apply last week because they're for the week before. So they would have been at like 94, which probably makes more sense because these job supplies are from a week prior. And also, remember Diversified, we really should be breaking out that bill because a lot of it's like brush dumping by the other crews and we're charging all to red, you know?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, we're going to charge for the brush and stuff. That should be broken out probably. Silver Crew, gardening. He hit his budget hours. He got 76. Silver has been getting... Yeah, it looks about average, right? And he's unaffected, obviously, by the spring growing and grass. He's all hourly, so he should always fall right around budget hours. So yeah, so it's just our theme that's been crushing the charge rate and short on hours. It's been the theme. So let's see. We got to do we forgot to do the last month. Plugging in the data. So let's see where we land because it's going to hurt because we have July in there. So we're looking at, we want to plug in July's numbers. So probably through 8.2 makes sense. So we'll pull this one out. Let me just jot these numbers somewhere else so I don't lose them. And then get rid of this because right now it's averaging that in. We don't want August in there. Okay. So, what are we at? July, right? Yeah, we're plugging July's numbers. So we plan on no overtime. All right. So let's see where we're landing. So we had a good trajectory. I mean, it reflects on that debt too. Remember, like we were only aiming for 10. We were on track for 10.8, right? And we had some real good progress. We were chopping down, and then the story changed this month. Yeah. So let's see. So we got we plan on 0% overtime. We're on track for 10.8% profit, right? 181 grand, just to see where we're standing off at. I'm just gonna jot that here just so it's gonna change and we can just see. I don't have to remember it, right? For the moment. All right, so July 0%. All right, what was our overtime? So we got 3.8%. So we did do a little bit of overtime in July. 3.88%. What's going on? 3.8%. So 180, 218. So that only cost us $1,000, right? Overtime, we've noticed, doesn't really do much when it doesn't change much.
Mm-hmm.
Cost us $1,000 overtime, nothing to sweat. July. So hours. So 2266 for the month. Remember though, in our budget, we were always really short, but we planned on 4 weeks, and there were actually 5 weeks in July. So that's going to help us out on the hours. We're probably still short, but not as short as we had thought. So
Right.
2266, and we did 1871. Where are we? July. 1871. So we were shy. What was it, like 500 hours, something like that?
Mm.
So that hurt. That brought us down $6,000. Not. Oh wait, no, that was $16,000, right? So we're down to 10%. We were at 10.8, and we were at 181. Now at 164. But I know we did better on our charge rates. Let's look at that. Our charge rate was 75.67, and July 75.67. So 181, we're at 164. 175, it's not bad, considering how horrible July was, right?
Yeah, not bad at all.
Not bad at all. And we're still at 10.6.
So ahead of plan.
What's that?
Still ahead of plan.
Yeah, that's not
Crazy.
not bad at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then let me just clear, before I forget, let me clear this out. We're done with July. Yeah, so we had 5 weeks in there. So we had an extra week to add on hours, because we would have only been at like 15 based on our plan there.
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of this. And throw this in there so we don't lose it. Okay. And then, yeah, we got to update these goals. So total field hours. So now the goal goes down for charge rate a lot. But the goal for hours, I think, was probably the same as last month. Let's see, goal total hours. Yeah, so they're the same July and August. So we still have a high goal for hours, 2266, which is going to be amount per week. It's 527 weeks. Actually, I think it stays the same. All right, so our goals remains the same for hours. Our charge rate goal goes from August, goes to 59. How many decimals in here for August? 59. These are all rounded. They are actually rounded. All right, so we could compare that. So, I mean, if we compare, because actually we should have done this last week. So our goal was actually 19 grand in August, and we did 20, because that, our goal for the charge rate we annihilated, right?
Right.
That's interesting because, and it actually makes sense too, though. But like these numbers that we pulled off of last year. We were getting. Well, I think we overestimated our hours, but our charge rates were based on last year. So we're like getting way better rates, but then our hours go down. It kind of makes sense because the more you charge, less work you're going to get, right? So it's like we're getting less. We have a little bit less work, but our charge rate's like way up. But actually, honestly, like in 2024, didn't we say we're about doing the same amount of work, was getting a better charge rate? Isn't that what it looked like when we looked last time? So July last year, I'm just looking. July last year, we did 2,000 hours, 2,067. So we were less on hours this July, and then July charge rate was 67, and then we were at 76. So we went up like $10 an hour on our charge rate, which is huge because we did 2,000 hours. 2,000 hours with $10 more an hour. That's huge. And then our hours were down slightly. So we did better than last July.
Yeah, last July we feel like we overworked. Like we did more hours,
right,
to earn less money.
Right. Well, this is a better model, right? And also all the stuff that's not reflected here: less equipment maintenance, less miles in the vehicles. Less mechanic time, less stuff to be fixed.
It makes perfect sense.
Yep. Waste log, we got. I'm just looking at her notes. Red highlight means they don't get credited for the delay repair. Okay, yeah, so this does count against them. So we got Maroon messing around with the tablet again.
Yeah, I guess
Okay,
it's
and
fine.
Arush sent me this. So against crew hours, so they get penalized. They get credited with if it's in green or against their hours in red.
Mm-hmm.
So these they didn't get. They got credits for these, but this one they got penalized for. So she did penalize them for the tablet time last week because yeah, just freaking and first and second. First of all, the person in the truck should be the passenger should be doing the hours anyway. You know, doing the paper doing the tablet. Why is the driver have to be sitting there? Like make good use. Just be smart, right? Here, can you fuck around with this tablet? I'm gonna get on the road, right? I mean, come on.
Just
What's the
write
other
it
guy doing
down.
anything? On Instagram? Yeah, I'm saying the driver, his job is to drive the truck, keep the ball rolling. Like, give the tablet or the paper to your passenger, let him do something while he's sitting there on Instagram. You know what I mean? Like, why is he need to sit there wait for the app to refresh? Like, drive the freaking truck, right? Get to the next stop. You know what I mean?
Hey,
Don't you
sorry.
agree? What's that?
I lost you for a sec there.
No, I'm just saying, don't you agree that, like, instead of him sitting there with his passenger in the seat, messing around with the tablet and doing the timesheet, just have your passenger do it while you get him off of his Instagram, you know, or his cat videos or whatever, and just be
Yeah.
like, hey, figure out this tablet. I'm gonna go start driving the next job. I mean, that's common sense, right?
Totally.
Yeah. So she penalized. Yeah, she penalized. She docked him for that one.
As she should.
Yep.
We've been over this
Time
with
off,
Neki, man. He had the same issue last week, and it was suggested to just write it down and move on. And he did it again.
Right. Drive time silver. Just jotting down.
He
some
really
notes.
wants that app to work, man.
Yeah, just let the other guy do it. What's he? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, just start driving the truck. Go to the next job. You get a 10-minute drive. Let the other guy fuck around with it for 10 minutes. What else? What is he? I want like know what his passenger's doing during that time. I'm telling you, he's on his freaking Instagram.
Calling his wife, TikToking, Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. Just have him do it. He's not doing anything. All right. Well, that's all I got for
Cool.
the meeting. I'm glad that Mean Green mower is you know, now we're on it. It's the frickin' blades. That was my first guess because you put the wrong blades on mowers. They cut like shit. I mean, think about it. There's 2 inches between each blade. Like, of course it's gonna miss spots, right? So I don't know.
Right.
Hopefully that was the problem because I mean that's the first place to start. You know,
Sure
like,
is.
So and like I said, I was the first thing I asked Noah, and he confirmed they were the right blades. So, all right. Well, to shift gears, let me just we can end this meeting.